Do I want to raise my kids here? Hell no. Do I want to start a business here with all the regulation? No. Do I feel like, if I live here in California with the homes, that they're going to do a better job at protecting future earthquakes and fires that's going to happen? I don't think so. How long will it take for California to recover from the Southern California? Probably 5 to 10 years. Do we have that 5 to 10 years to wait for? No. Where do we go, babe? Nevada, Texas, Tennessee, Florida? They go to different places.
Let's not forget Montana. I mean, we're pretty awesome up here.
Well, I'm trying to keep a secret for you so you guys can just enjoy it for yourself with them not coming to you.
I don't know if you've seen this show called Yellowstone. I hate to tell you, the gig is up. Especially after the California wildfires, which I know you were just recently on Fox News. And I'm curious about this. You made a comment that you think that the damage inflicted was a political failure. What do you think the cascading consequences from that will be? And what more do you think could have been done on that front?
Okay, how long did you serve, Andy? How long were you in?
16 years and 11 months. So I figure the Gov can spot me a month, so I just tell people 17 years.
Okay, so without giving names, did you ever work under a commander that was the worst? And did you ever have a commander or somebody you worked under that was the best?
The best examples of leadership I ever encountered were in the SEAL community, and the absolute worst examples of leadership I encountered were also inside of the SEAL community.
So that's perfect, though. The reason why that, and so if you were to qualify what is the definition of the best and what was the definition of the worst, what did the best make you feel like and what did the worst make you feel like?
I mean, the best leaders I ever worked for were the ones that you would literally, I don't mean figuratively, you would lay down in traffic to try to achieve their stated goals or their mission statement, to support what it is that they had briefed that we needed to accomplish as a team. The worst ones were the ones that you were looking for traffic to shove them into. And they would be, and this is where it trips people up in the SEAL community, because you still have to succeed. But what people don't see is that with those poor leaders, you're succeeding in spite of who they are, not because of who they are. It's because the team is supporting that person, but they don't like that person. They'll undermine that person. They'll listen to what they tell them to do. And they're like, yep, I'm not going to actually do that. They'll do the absolute minimum possible to achieve success. And then what the problem is inside of the SEAL community, because we all wear the same uniform, the person wears the same uniform and they're successful. And on the outside, people don't understand. And they think everybody is a great leader. And that's why I always clarify, I serve with the best and the worst.
So to quantify the best, okay, the worst, the way to put a number to it, when you were with the worst, how many of your peers were saying, I cannot wait to leave this place? And when you were with the best, how many other people said, dude, I wish I can come join? Can you guys find a way to get orders so I can come and join you guys and be over there? Can you quantify that? How many people wanted to leave the worst? How many people wanted to join the best?
I mean, I'm not a fan of absolutes, always and never, or 0 and 100%. But I think on both ends of that pendulum, it is as close to 100% as you can get.
So watch where I'm going with this. Okay. So let's measure success with numbers, not ideas and feelings and opinions. From July 2020 to April of 2024, the state that gained the most people moving to it, the number one state in America, almost 1 million people moved to Florida. During that period, the complete opposite, the worst state that lost 1.234 million people that left the state, first time ever that they had a negative net migration, was the state of California. 1.234 million people left during that same 4-year period. Okay. When you have a great leader with great policies, if you and I were to compare Newsom and DeSantis, who's a better communicator? Newsom. Who is more physically attractive, tall, on camera, looks better? Newsom. Who likes the limelight more? Newsom. Who is probably more comfortable around people? Newsom. Do we give a shit about any of that stuff? No. We care about results. We literally don't care about that. We care about results. What did DeSantis do when there was a hurricane and a bridge went down? 2-3 days it's built up. What happened when all the issues, what's going on in the state of Florida? Like this. What happened when he, at some points they had certain policies during COVID that they didn't like, and boom, within a week or two they adjusted. But it was like this, right? It was so quick the way they were doing it, and that's a sign of a great leader. So California right now is in a very weird place because You got stories like Francis Bichetti, who lives in the Palisades. He's been living there for on and off for about 50 years, and he's got a place that he's owned for a couple decades. Okay, so this guy, he gets a letter in from his insurance company, homeowners insurance company in the state of California, saying your premium is going from $4,500 a month to $4,500 a year to $18,000 a year. Let me say this one more time. Premium is going $4,500 a year, which is roughly $400 a month, to $18,000 a year, which is $1,500 a month. He's sitting there, he's telling this story. I can't afford to pay for this. So what he decides to do is go through the FAIR Plan, FAIR Act that they have in the state of California, protects homeowners up to $3 million, and it's for folks that can't afford to do it. So the idea is you go on this with the hopes of eventually somebody getting, it's $3,200 a year. He goes to get the FAIR Plan policy. They tell him to cut down 10 trees, and he can't afford to do it because it's a big cost. So finally, he makes a decision to go bare. It's called going bare, means you don't have any insurance at all. This decision was made a year ago. This last week, he lost his house.
Damn.
So if this guy has a house, say it's a $3 million house, $4 million house, how many people who have a $3-4 million house actually have $3-4 million in a bank? Not a lot of people. When somebody gets $1 million loan and they get approved to get $1 million loan, and let's just say they put 20% down, $200,000 on, they finance the $800,000. How many of those people that bought $1 million house actually have $1 million in the bank if shit were to hit the fan? Not a lot. Less than
almost
50%.
Nobody. Yeah,
almost nobody. So this is no longer about, hey, let me go to the beach. Hey, we're shutting down restaurants. Hey, I can't go to Disney. Hey, I can't go outside and play at the park because of what they did at COVID. Hey, kids are not going to school. This is no longer about that. This is now actual financial. It's very logical. It's actually you're sitting there saying, do I want to raise my kids here? Hell no. Do I want to start a business here with all the regulation? No. Do I feel like, if I live here in California with the homes, that they're going to do a better job at protecting future earthquakes and fires that's going to happen? I don't think so. How long will it take for California to recover from the Southern California? Probably 5 to 10 years. Do we have that 5 to 10 years to wait for it? No. Where do we go, babe? Nevada, Texas, Tennessee, Florida? They go to different places.
Let's not forget Montana. I mean, we're pretty awesome up here.
Well, I'm trying to keep a secret for you so you guys can just enjoy it for yourself with them not coming to you.
I don't know if you've seen this show called Yellowstone. I hate to tell you, the gig is up.
It's no longer a secret, right?
Oh, there's some pissed off locals.
I can only, because the people I knew didn't want that place to be known to others.
Yeah.
But that's the problem, Andy. With your experience in the military, there was something when you work for your colonel or your guy that was your leader. You're like, dude, I love freaking, he's tough. He kicks my ass, but I love working for this. And then there were guys you couldn't get a hold of. They were full of shit. They were always spinning different things. Oh, I was working out this morning. I had a leader one day, and this guy was the reason why I left the previous insurance company. He was one of the top 3 reasons. I'll never forget what he said one time. One day in the morning, he's like, yeah, this morning I was doing cardio, 4 o'clock in the morning, and I look to my left, and I see Tiger Woods is there doing cardio. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, wow, he also gets up like me at 4 o'clock in the morning. And then all of a sudden, 45 minutes later, I'm like, hey, good workout. He says, yeah, I've been here for an hour because he was sweating. He says, and I went. I'm like, wow, as hard as I train at 4 o'clock in the morning, this guy came 45 minutes before me. Then one of the guys who was one of my competitors in the insurance company is like, here's the news. Tiger's not in the country. Do you understand what just happened? So that story he just made up from that morning, he was full of shit.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, wait a minute. So none of us trusted this guy. We just tolerated him. Very talented, spoke very well, very eloquent in the way he communicated, but nobody trusted him to know that he was not going to spin some kind of a story for you. This is the master spinner. Newsom is the master spinner that we have today. And I'm also concerned about people talking about him resigning. I think a recall is a better solution than resigning, because if he resigns, the lieutenant generals just like him. A recall could at least make some changes, or else we have to wait a couple of years.
Good morning, everybody. As you know, Change Agents is an Ironclad original, but what you may not know is that for over a decade, Ironclad has worked with brands and individuals to create world-class films, series, podcasts, and ad campaigns. In fact, I've been working with Ironclad for the past few years. I was introduced to them on a project through the Navy SEAL Foundation. I've worked with them on a variety of projects, even up here in Montana, long before they proposed the idea of Change Agents to me. They're the best in their field. And I say that because there are plenty of people out there looking for the best, looking for the cream of the crop, looking for the top of the triangle. And if you're looking for that, you need to look no further than Ironclad. If you ever need media by way of film, a series, podcasts, or ad campaigns, they have you covered.